Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here. Welcome back to my channel. And I hope you've been enjoying Junk Journal July from all the wonderful artists that are included in the challenge here. And I hope that you're following along with everybody. So today is the 22nd, and today is my day for Junk Journal July. So prompt 22 down here is pockets, and that's what we're going to be working on today. So I have my journal here, and I'm just going to open it up, find a page that I like, and then we'll get started with the pockets prompt here. And I kind of went through and looked at what I thought I might want to do. And I was thinking about doing the back of this page. So I don't like it so much. You know, it's kind of a little bit dull there. So I was thinking I would cover it and maybe do something on top of it. So I'm going to try to find a place where I can at least hold this down a little. And then I picked out, so I'm just going to be doing this. You're going to be here winging it with me. I found this old jelly print and gessoed page that I had done some stamping and some stencils and things on. So I thought this might be a fun cover background page for this, since I'm not, not super crazy about that. So I thought it would be fun to just kind of put that down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can just kind of measure out how long and wide I should cut this paper down to. Let's see if I can find a pencil. So I'm just making little marks, and I'll probably make it just a teeny bit smaller so I don't have to worry about any overhang. Not that it would matter at all, but I'm going to pull out my let's see. I'm going to do this cut first, I think. I was trying to decide which one to do. I'm going to cut a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch shorter than those marks I made. And then I have this nice paper there that should fit right on here and give us a little starting point for this page. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down so that this will kind of be our starter background for this page. Okay, I was trying to think of something different to do for pockets, and I think I have something in mind, but I'm going to start by making tags. So these are the things that are going to go in the pockets. So I will make those first, and I'm just going to pop in my old blade. Whenever I cut cardboard, I like to use my old blade that's too dull for paper. Because I don't like to use my nice sharp paper blade for cardboard. So let's see if I can find a side that looks relatively, none of these look relatively straight. So I'm just going to cut a straight line here so that I can use that to sort of straighten up everything else. So now I can put it against this edge and hopefully get a decent cut at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so I'm gonna wait to cut this because I have to decide how long I want these tags. So I wanted them kind of skinny, I think. So let's see. All right, so let me just cut down. I think I'm gonna make them maybe 1.25 inches wide. I think that looks good. So I'm going to cut 3 of those, and then I will fix the length as we go here too. All right, so I'm going to put that down for now. I have my 3 what are going to be tags. I will have to cut them some more. Actually, I should probably do that first before I start covering everything. Okay, so let's see. I kind of wanted 3 pockets on here, and this might be cutting it a little close. Maybe I should cut it down just a little bit more. Take them down to about 1 inch, just so I have a little bit more room on the page itself. So let's see. Oops, that's 3/4 of an inch. Oh, it's not feeling straight. And then this one. Okay. Let's draw this again. Okay, so now I have 1 inch, and that fits a little bit better to put, you know, pockets on these. I think that'll work better. So now I'm just going to cut them down a little bit so that they'll fit the way I want them to. So let's see, let's do 3 inches for one, and I don't know, 2 inches for one. And then we'll just do something in between, 2.5. Let's make sure I'm cutting off the right end again. Hard to tell. Okay, so I could maybe do them in size order like that. All right, I think this is a good start. So now what I'm going to do with these tags is I'm going to cover them, and I typed some words out that I want to go kind of on the top of the tags. So I'm just going to grab some other scrap papers. So now I can glue this down. Probably should have cut that. For cardboard that I use, if it has kind of a shiny side, I like to put little marks in it so that the glue holds better. And I think I'm going to kind of put it down, not right at the edge, because then I can wrap things around if I want to. Okay, so that's one. Let's see what this. I like the idea of this. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Maybe I'll use the wording on here just to make it kind of fun. My glues. Whoops. That's not good. To clean that up. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of hold it up to the light here to see where I want to put it down. And I'm thinking maybe I might put it up by these stamps a little bit, since this will probably be the front of it. I'm going to put it that way. All right, let me clean up my mess here. Okay, while I was cleaning up, I found this last piece of paper that I think I'm going to use for my third tag. So I'm just going to mark that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go back to the first one and we'll do a little bit of trim in here. Get this wrapped. I'm just going to try to leave it about at least halfway larger, so that I can wrap the whole thing. So let's do the same thing with this one. Leave about, I don't know. That was not straight at all. Luckily, this part doesn't matter too much. You just want to be sure that the paper wraps around and can cover the whole back. So I think that should do on all of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and just kind of cut some corners in. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start on one side and kind of come into the corner and then work my way back out again so that these don't get too bulky. Now I'm just going to kind of glue them together like I would if I was covering a journal or something. But these, because they're small, I think I can kind of put all the glue down at one time and work them all in. So I'm going to do the small sides first in the hopes that the larger size will kind of cover everything up. And what I like to do is just use my fingernail on each of these little corners before I fold over the second side to kind of make it a little bit neater. So you just kind of pinch right past the cardboard. That was a little too far, I think. So that when you fold it in, it makes a nice little thing there. All right, I'm going to do these other two same way. All right, my tags are all covered, and now I want to put these words on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down so that I can make a mat with some of these papers that I have over here. So I'll start with this one, and I'm gonna try to decide how big it needs to be, and maybe what I should do first, maybe I should make the mat first. So I think I was gonna use this one for this one. So this is already about 1 inch wide, so I definitely need to cut it down. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut this out so I know how big this piece is going to be. I might not even need my... I'm going to start with it a little bit larger. I can always cut it down if I want to cut it down. So this is kind of what I was thinking. Woo, I'm knocking things over. And then we'll leave a little bit of a border around there. So I'm just going to leave that one go, and I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of them. Figure out, wait, this one goes with that one. This one, I think this one would go best with. Let me see. I wanted a little bit of this, these polka dots showing. I thought they were kind of fun. All right, so that one's gonna go on there. And then the last one is over here somewhere. They certainly don't have to be perfect. All right, so let's see. You do want them to fit on the tags though, so they can't be longer than that. All right, so now let's go ahead and glue down the labels And then we'll cut them down a little bit so that they fit on their tags, on their respective tags.
And now I'm just adding a little bit of Distress ink to grunge them up a little bit. And then to finish them up, I'm going to add the matted words to each of the tags. And I decided not to do them all centered, so they're just kind of wherever I like them.
Okay, now it's time for the pockets. And I found some of this just sort of craft cardstock that I thought would kind of pull out some of the browns that are already in the background paper there. So I'm going to use those. Now for my pocket size, I know my pockets should be, obviously they need to be bigger than this so that these will fit into the pockets. And since these are 1 inch wide, I think I'm going to do pockets that are about 1.5 inches wide. And so I'm going to cut this down because I have to leave space on all sides for the flaps for my pocket. I'm going to cut these down to 2 inches wide because that will give me 1/4 inch on either side of my 1.5, which is what I want. Excuse me. And then for the length of the pocket, I just need basically what the tag size is, really plus 1/4 inch, but let's go ahead and do 1/2 inch. So I'm going to need 2.5, 3, and 3.5, I think. So 2.5 here, 3, and then I'll have to cut another one that's 2 inches wide and 3.5 inches long. Okay, so here are what's going to be my 3 pockets, believe it or not. And now we're just going to make simple pockets, but I'm going to use my scoreboard to kind of score them out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score 1/4 inch on either side from the edge, and that'll give me my side flaps. So then I'll have my 1.5 inch pockets. So I'm just hoping this is correct, but oops, I'm pretty sure it will be. Okay, so I have those 2, and I'm going to do that for each one. Actually, I was just going to measure this and make sure that's right. I have that, and then this one. Okay, and then for the bottom of the pocket, I don't need to make a flap at the top because it's a pocket, so we want something to be able to tuck inside that. So I think I went 1/2 inch bigger, so I'm going to do 1/2 inch score on one side of each of them to make it down to the right size, like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this little square, and I'm kind of going to do it the same way that I had cut the papers for folding onto the tags. So you could just cut right on the lines and cut out those squares, but I'm just going to leave a little miter in there. I think it kind of folds a little bit better when you do that. So I'm just going to kind of cut on the line, or right to the inside of the lines for each of them here, so that when I fold, everything will kind of fold and turn under nicely. Okay. So here's my pockets. Let me get this out of here. Okay, now I'm going to fold all of my folds over so you can kind of see how my pockets are going to come together. And now a lot of times you see pockets going straight up and down, but I wanted to be a little bit different. So I thought it would be fun to do some side pockets. And you see that I have words on my tags. I'm actually going to add some words onto here too. So this is what it's going to look like. So let's see, my longest one is going to go on the bottom, like that. And then we're going to have my shortest one. Oops. And then obviously we're going to have to, fix them before we put them down. But that's what it's going to look like. So I kind of like how this is bringing out a little bit of the brown in here. My tags are going to fit in here just fine. Actually, it looks like they're going to be a little bit big, but that's okay. Now what I want to do is I want to create a little notch in these pockets. So I'm going to use my 1/2-inch punch and hopefully just kind of center it so that I have a little notch in each one. That'll show a little bit of the tag coming out, but I'm good with that. Now we need to decorate these tags a little bit. They are really plain. So I'm going to unfold them a little now that I have kind of the size and shape that I want. I'm going to put them this way so I don't forget that's what the plan is. And then we're going to decorate these a little bit. All right, I've decided the best thing to decorate these is some old paper. I have so many old book pages lying around that I thought it would be fun to try to use some of them up. And I'm just going to tear some pieces. Actually, I kind of like that this is not quite straight on there. So let's see if I do that. And then can kind of, it's okay if it overlaps a little bit because that will just fold along. And actually this one might be a little bit better since it's longer. I don't know. I might have to do another one for this one. I don't know. And then we need a short one. So that's fun. I think I might try to do a little bit longer on this one. I don't know how much longer I can make it with the words here, but that works. Okay. I like how that's coming together. Now let's just glue these down. And you could add some distress if you want to, but honestly, the papers are pretty nice distress because they're old already. So I think what I'll do is maybe just add a little bit of distress around the edges of my pockets and a little bit in my finger notches there. But I don't think with this craft, it doesn't need too much, but this will just add a little bit of interest to it. And then let's glue some of this down. All right, now we're going to decorate the tops a little bit while our tags dry. And now you're going to start to see some of the words come together that I was planning on here. So I'm going to start by doing some lettering on here. And I'll just let you kind of see how it's going to come around. And maybe I'll turn it this way. And I don't want these to be perfect, and they won't be. So I want to get the words out there, kind of make it look like an old typewriter that's a little wonky. Okay, I decided to do my word different there a second time because the first time, I don't know, the edges were really kind of mushing down. So I don't mind a little bit of that, but I didn't want too much of it. So now I'm just hoping that, oh yeah, I'm going to have to do that smaller. Okay, so whoopsies on this. This is not going to fit on this tag. So I, made it the longer one, but my letters are too far apart for that. So I think I'm going to use a capital D. I like these. I'm going to use those. And then I'm going to do different one more time, but I'm going to use these small letters for everything except for the D. All right, I think this is going to work better. So let's try this again. So I'm going to cut this out, and I'm going to do the same thing that I kind of did with the tags. I'm going to cut these out and make like a little mask with this gray paper. So I think this was down to about 2 inches. So as long as I keep this one pretty close, I think we'll be all right. So I like this little 3-word quote. That's kind of what started this. And then I thought, well, I want to do some pockets. I want it to be a little bit different than maybe something I've done before. But then I thought, wouldn't it be fun if the words in the pockets were also part of a quote? So just be different is going to be on the outsides of the pockets. And then I'm going to have this tag for just create, and then be a help, and different is great. So I thought that would be fun. All right, so let's keep going. So now I'm just going to take these and I'm going to mat them on this paper, kind of like I had done before. And let me just double check to see where we're at here, because this looks like it'll be just about the right size. And that'll just about fit on that one. So that one's going to be tight, but that's all right. We're going to keep working with it. And I think for this one, instead of adding any distress, I'm going to grab a Sharpie and see if I can just add a little to the outside here. And I kind of want this to be a little messy. So I may try to kind of go over onto the top a little bit more if I can without going down too far. Okay, I have these cut out. I'm gonna let them dry a little bit. And before we put them on, I decided that I would add even more to my pockets here. So I thought I would just grab some washi tape, just kind of some vintage washi tape, and add a little bit here and there. So let's see. I'll probably have to cut some of this down, but I thought at least this would be something fun to add. Give it a little more interest here and there. Decisions. Okay, so now this one, because my tape goes into my corner, I'm just going to cut that out. But everything else should be okay because it should fold pretty easily with the folds in my pocket. All right, and I decided that this one needs another piece since it's kind of the only one there. Maybe I'll put this one here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I got my washi tape stuck to my finger. Okay. I like how that's coming together. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. All right, next step is to glue down our pockets. And I'm going to try and fold in the sides first and then fold down the end part. And then all I'm going to do, if I can keep my glue off my hands there, is I'm going to add some glue to the 3 sides. And I'm going to try not to get it obviously on the inside because I don't want it to glue all the way down. And this one I'm going to try to do sort of in the middle of the page here. And I think I'm going to have to hold these down a little bit for the glue to actually get set up. So I'm going to hold them and then glue the other 2. And I'm probably going to try to glue them so that some of this stamp shows, or this stencil shows. So that's kind of my plan here. All right, my pockets are down. I love the way it's looking so far. And now I just have to finish off my tags. And so I decided to grab a little black sari ribbon because I thought that that would be fun. And basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just 3 little tags, or I'm sorry, toppers here. And I'm going to cut them just about the same size. So I'm just going to measure them this way. And then, oops, got to measure. Just so they're close. If I need to trim them up some more or something, I will. And this one, need to kind of cut that edge a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to grab my little tiny attacher stapler. And I'm just going to put these on here. And see if I can give them a little staple, just like that. And then once these are dry, I think these are dry now, we're going to put these in there. I'm going to try to make it flare out just a little bit, although I don't know if if I can do that with all of them here. And hold it down. Oop. It's actually not bad. Let's see. Do the last one here. There we go. So there is my page of pockets, and I totally love it. So I love how it has a little quote right here, little phrase, just be different. But then each of them, just create. These are good reminders for myself. Be a help, and different is great. And there you have it, friends. My Junk Journal July prompt number 22, pockets. I hope you had fun creating this with me, doing a little junk journal with me. I had so much fun participating in Junk Journal July. I hope that you will go out and watch all of the other artists and all of the great projects and things that they are doing. And I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Meg from Meg Journals for inviting me to be a part of this challenge. Thanks so much, friends. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.